I'm going to start with something easy. Your Twitter profile says you sometimes don't bowl with underpants on.
That's right.
Why?
It actually started because I was so unorganised, I wouldn't always take 4 pairs of underpants. So come day 4, I'd think, right, you've got to go no pants here. And then I bowled well one time and just thought, carried on. It's been noted a few times by opposition players.
And how do they... I mean, without getting too much into specifics, how do people notice you're not wearing underwear?
You have to use your imagination, I guess.
Swinging? Or
swinging, possibly. Pendulous has been one adjective that's been used to describe it.
But it's not like your trousers are falling down, there's a butt crack.
No, I've never displayed myself in that way to any fans yet. Don't want to speak too soon. But yeah, it's just one of those things.
So it's not a good luck thing. Like, I thought it might have been a thing where you did it once and you took a 5 and you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Why would I use underwear?
No, I don't have any superstitions in that way. I'm quite different to most sportsmen. I dislike superstitions avidly. I'm not a fan of them whatsoever. But no, it's one of those things. I suppose I do it every now and again just if you're bored on a day's play, then why not have a word with the batsman, let them know you're not wearing underpants if you're bowling, and just find another way of trying to get them out, I suppose.
I want to meet the batsman. The guy that's just so easy is just like, wow, I can't face you now.
I've had a word with Johnny Bairstow. I did it. He laughed. He enjoyed it. Truscothic. I've got absolutely no chance of getting Truscothic out normally. So any way that I can have an extra sort of 1%, I suppose I could use that one. I used to sing Wurzel songs to Truscothic as well. He scored 200 against us, either last season or the season before at New Road. And he's on about 150. I started singing Wurzel songs, which is the name of the band who sing songs for Bristol City, who's the team that Marcus Truscothic and myself both support. And also the Somerset team song is called Blackbird by the Wurzels. So I started singing a few of those songs. And I actually got him out for about 220, so I had the last laugh. It was a very quiet laugh.
Yeah, and no one could hear it over all the clapping. I would have thought you wouldn't have to mention your underwear to make people laugh, though, because your bowling action.
It is incredible, isn't it? It's very, very, very bad.
I was trying to find it on Twitter. I'm pretty sure the first time I saw you play was probably about 2010 or something, and you were playing at CB40 or whatever they were called at that time. And I think I wrote something like "My eyes," and just wrote your name beyond it. I mean, it is. I mean, look, I was on the Richo last week. Your action has got to be the most bizarre action in modern cricket, doesn't it?
It's up there. I think a bowl very similar to a bowler called Sahil Tanvir, Pakistan. No. You don't think?
He does it in a manly way. Yours is a whole different level.
Bit camper.
He does it he does exactly the same mannerisms that you do, but you do it camper and then like you're being electrocuted.
Yes, I concur with that. I think, I don't know, I've tried to change it. I've heard you interview with Richo, and I think I've not got any great pace. The one thing I have got is swing. I can swing the ball a long way away from the right-hander, which for a left-armer is very unusual. And I think that my unusuality is what gets me wickets. And I think when Worcester first had a look at me, there was talk with the second team coach saying, well, he bowls well, but I'm not sure we should sign him because is he a proper bowler? What does he do? Is he like maybe a specialist 2020 bowler? And that was the assumption that most people had when I first came on the scene. Look, it works for me, and Steve Rhodes is the coach, and he's happy with how I'm bowling, so I'm going to keep it for the time being.
I asked this to Richo, but how would you explain your bowling action to someone who hadn't seen it?
I've been called frog in a blender, which I suppose is what they call the leg spinner Paul Adams in South Africa. I might even be doing Paul Adams a disservice because he's a little bit more orthodox than me. I've got my head down when I bowl. My tongue comes out as well. It's very ugly, very ungainly to look at. I don't know. I couldn't describe it. When I first bowled, I thought I bowled perfectly orthodox.
Which is what Richo said as well. What about the first time you saw it? Like, I'm assuming you got to some sort of semi-professional level or professional level. Someone showed you a video. And
I had a net with my brother. When my brother played for Warwickshire, he invited me down for some nets. I bowled then, had some video analysis. I looked at myself and wanted to cry. I thought, oh, this looks terrible. I've never seen anyone bowl like this. Surely you can't be a successful bowler and bowl like this. But no, I don't know. If I could choose to bowl like anyone, it wouldn't be like me. I would choose someone else, I think, probably a Brett Lee or someone like that.
I think you and every kid in the world might say the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you talked about your brother. Your father also played a little bit of cricket. This is what I don't understand, because like my father was so... If I'd bowled like you, he would have beaten me. And like, you come from a cricket family, like your brother's older?
Yeah, brother's 5.5 years older.
Yeah, and your father obviously played. How did they let you? Yeah, it's surprisingly older. How did they let you? How did they not correct you?
I think it's a sign of a neglectful parent, but honestly. I bowled my brother in the back garden and wherever, and we'd go and follow Dad and play cricket there. He must have not watched that. He must not have been a neglectful parent, because I would never let my son bowl like that. And I actually had, when I was about 14 or 15, I was sent some one-on-one coaching to try and rid me of this bowling action of going over the top however I do it. I had no success whatsoever, and I just thought I'm going to have to try and do it this way. But I was actually a batsman until I was 18. I was a batsman who bowled a little bit, which might explain why I never sort of tried too hard to correct my bowling action.
That probably makes sense, doesn't it? Because if you're not doing it full time, no one really cares what you're doing.
Exactly.
And I'm assuming it must help the first time someone faces you. It must help you having that action, because it's not like they're coming across that action every week.
Yeah, no, I've lost count a number of times that someone sort of does this or looks at the sky or doesn't know where it come out, where the balls come from. Tim Breslin said once, I could have sworn it came out with his right hand when he bowled that one. He just wasn't sure where it's come from.
Someone did describe it to me as if you're a right-hander who's bowling left-handed in the net. And they actually said that Jimmy Anderson's left arm is more elegant than yours when he bowls left arm in the net.
It wouldn't surprise me. He's a hell of a bowler, isn't he? He's probably my favourite bowler in the world at the moment, Jimmy Anderson. If I could bowl anything like him, I'd be very, very happy.
With either arm?
Yeah, with either arm. If I could bowl Jimmy Anderson's left arm, I'd be happy.
I want to get back to your family a little bit. So, your father did he try and make it as a professional, or was it just something he did?
Yeah, he did. He played, I think, 3 or 4 games for Gloucestershire in the late 70s. I think his first wicket was Zahir Abbas, so he was not a bad bowler. He was a conventional left-arm away swing bowler, same as my brother. He played, I think, 2, possibly 3 seasons for Gloucestershire, and then in his 3rd season, he got hit on the head by a bouncer, and this was in the days before helmets. He had a brain hemorrhage, and the doctors gave him a 50-50 chance of surviving. He obviously made it, and he was fine afterwards. He went back to play cricket. He got offered another 1-year contract by Gloucester, but turned it down to work for BT.
Okay.
But he always played minor counties cricket for Dorset, and then later on Shropshire, and he still loves his cricket now.
Because I want to sort of tie this all back to you, because I find that interesting that he knocked it back. Does he have regrets that he didn't?
I don't think, no, he's always been a really positive role model, positive influence on me. He's never sort of talked negatively about his cricket. I don't know, you have to ask him if he'd rather have played cricket for full time. I'm sure he would have done if he could have done. But no, he's never expressed any sort of negative thoughts towards Gloucester.
Because of the way that this is just all the research I've done on you. Yeah. Your Wikipedia page is not a document, but I've talked to a few people, and it sounds like you've done everything possible to become a pro cricketer, like on every level. Like someone told me at one stage you were playing for 4 different clubs in a week or something. You weren't even a new ball bowler for your club, but you were yet signed as a pro cricketer. You've been to Auckland, Sydney, and anywhere else?
Perth as well.
Perth.
Yeah.
You're only 24?
25?
Yeah. 24. It sounds like from an outsider, and I come at this without knowing too much about you, like you've done everything in your possible, life to get to this position. Does that not come from your father? Is that just your love of the game?
Yeah, I suppose my love of the game. I'm quite a determined individual as well. But yeah, no, I've never been blessed with any great talent, I don't think. Never any great pace with the ball. Not a great fielder, so I've had to work hard. It's through necessity. If I could be one of these pole players like a Chris Gale, somebody who could just walk out there, smash 100 and then go home, I probably would have done that instead. But this is sort of the route to an end for me. I need to work really hard to survive and to play with people like this Worcester squad, people like Vikram Solanki, people I used to. It's a cliche to say, but me and my brother used to play on the driveway, and we used to fake test matches and write down people's names. I'd be Graham Haig, Vikram Solanki, and to play with these people it is incredible. So yeah, I've never been one of these people who it's come easy to. It has come very hard to me, and I've had to work at it. But the rewards are there. So.
But I mean, you say that. But every cricketer I would interview would say that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, where is your talent level? Are you a decent club cricketer who squeezed out the most, or are you a struggling county player who's got a contract?
Look, I think I was a decent club player. I played for Shrewsbury with my club team. I don't know. I wouldn't like to comment on my personal ability. I think I'm good enough to play county cricket. I've got a lot of belief in my potential. But yeah, it's always been something I have to work at. I came very late into the game as well. My first contract wasn't until I was 21, 22. I went to university. I was going to go down that route of playing cricket for fun, and so when I did get the final call to play county cricket, it came as a shock and a surprise.
But you say you're going to play cricket for fun, but from everything I've found, like you put yourself in the right position to get a pro thing. So I mean, you basically, had you given up on that pro dream by that age?
No, I hadn't. If you'd have asked me at the age of 18, 19, what are you going to be? I would have said to you, I'm going to be a cricketer. And I would have been, not arrogant, but I would have had that belief in myself, I'm going to make it. And almost to the extent that people would say, Shantry, no, he's not good. He's bowled, 75 miles an hour? He's never going to be a professional sportsman. And I've sort of, in spite of myself, I've worked really, really hard on all parts of my game to try and make it. But in the back of my mind, I was always thinking, this is probably not going to be for you, this.
I mean, you said that you bowled 74, 75 miles. I mean, realistically, you're slower than Shahid Afridi.
Slower than Shahid Afridi's quicker ball, which I would argue whether that's more than the legitimate number of degrees in the bowling arm as well when he bowls that delivery.
He does occasionally, yeah. He does occasionally flex a little bit. But, I mean, that's an incredibly slow pace to bowl. I mean, that's quicker than Chris Harris or, Craig McMillan, but only, marginally, I would think. I mean, that's an amazing thing that you've managed to survive even a couple of years, and your contract is still the end of 2013 or 14?
One more season after this.
Yeah. I mean, so even to play 3 or 4 years of county cricket bowling that pace, I mean, what the hell are you doing? How do you survive?
Yeah, it's an achievement. I think I've got very good control of the ball. I can hit the top of off stump quite often, and I swing the ball a long way as well. So those are the things that are in my favour. But it is a little bit like a duck, sort of feet under the water, going really, really fast just to maintain a level. But no, I'm enjoying it, and hopefully I can have a very successful career. There's bowlers all around the world who don't bowl express pace. Chaminda Vaas probably got a couple of miles an hour on me, but still has made a test career out of being a left-arm seamer who swings the ball. So I think there are role models there to follow.
I want to talk about the step that we're talking about. I mean, we've mentioned it a little bit, that you weren't taking the new ball in the lower levels and everything, and you still got the pro thing. When you were finally signed, what happened? Were you trying out for so many teams? Were you playing every club competition you could? Were you? Yeah,
I was playing ridiculous amounts of cricket. I was playing 6 days a week through the summer that I did get signed. I was playing for my club team Shrewsbury. I was playing minor counties cricket for Shropshire, which have 3-day games on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'd travel on a Tuesday to play Wednesday and Thursday for the minor counties under 25s, now called Unicorns, who play in the second 11 championship. Friday might be a day off, or I might go to university if I had any lectures. Then back to club cricket on Saturday, and on top of all that, I was playing for Worcestershire second team as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's enough days in the week for what you just said. But are you getting paid for this? Are you doing it just because you love it?
No, I was definitely making a loss while I was playing. I was at university, and I was studying a subject which I probably wasn't enjoying as much as I could have been, nor was I working hard enough to sort of get a degree of any real note. So it sort of blew all my eggs in one basket. I'm playing cricket all the time. I had a very good season. I took a lot of wickets. And people would say, do you want to play? And I'd just say, yeah, I'll play. What else can I do? I'm 19, 20, and my dad was a professional sportsman, my brother is. So yeah, of course I want to have that life as well.
And would you, I don't know how it all works. Do you have to ring people up and make sure they know you're playing? I didn't have a
car at this time either, so I was getting on the trains. Now I think back to it, when I was at university, I'd get invited down for trials with Worcester, have a net. So it'd be like, I'd get a text from Damien D'Oliveira, who's the second team coach at Worcester, saying, Shantry, we've got a net from 1 until 3 on Saturday afternoon. So I'd wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning in Manchester, get a bus, get a taxi, get a train down to Birmingham, train to Birmingham, go to Worcester, get on the train to Worcester, walk to the ground with all my cricket kit and my overnight bag, whatever, bowl for maybe 20 minutes. Excuse me, Mr. Rhodes, can I have a bat? No, sorry, no time for you today. So I've lugged all this stuff up to Manchester. And I'll do that weeks on end just to get a bowl for 20 minutes. And looking back on it now, I think you were stupid to do that. You wasted all your time. You could have been doing other stuff. But but I had to work hard to get to where I am now.
But people in the system knew of you, though, enough for you to get trials and to come down and...
Yeah, that took 2 years of trialing to get a contract, though.
Yeah.
When I first went to university and I wanted to be a cricketer, I actually wrote a handwritten letter to all 18 first-class counties asking for trials, of which only 4, I think, replied. I think Lancashire replied saying, no, we've got no room. North had invited me to a net. Worcester and Warwickshire did. And I netted with all those 3 counties. North had invited me back. Warwickshire didn't. Worcester did. And then I think I got a couple of 5-wicket hauls for Worcester. Then the next season I got a 7 for another 5 for, and I bowled well, batted okay. And then there's a little bit of interest from Leicester as well. And then eventually Worcester gave me a summer contract.
I'm going to throw you a slight curveball here, but only because of what we're talking about. We're talking about you trying for years, basically, crack in.
Yeah.
Even with, I wouldn't say family connections, but you did have a family,
Yeah.
People knew your surname at least. On the other half of it, you'll then find yourself as a teammate of Adrian Shankar.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, at what stage did you know that there was something dodgy going on with Adrian Shankar?
I'd been, I wouldn't say tipped off, but I'd been told by a couple of people that not all his facts really added up. Going back to his Lancashire days, I heard an anecdote, I think it's out in public domain now. Luke Sutton, when he spoke to him, must have heard the story. Luke Sutton said, Adrian, we've heard these stories about you, that you're actually 3 years older than you say you are. What's going on? And Adrian turned around and said, well, what happened was I was in an incubator for the first 3 years of my life with a very serious illness. And Luke Sutton goes, well, that wouldn't change your age, would it? Does that mean you didn't grow for the first 3 years of your life? And Adrian goes, yep, that's right, and walked off. So you've got to admire them. As much as you think, what are you doing? You've got to admire the man to do that, and to say it with a straight face as well. So he didn't come across like a Frank Abagnale Jr., that guy off Catch Me If You Can. He didn't come across as like a brilliant evil mastermind. He just looked like a normal guy. But some of the things he said, like he played for Arsenal under Arsene Wenger, played for Arsenal Academy. He was in the National Tennis Academy, and we played a game of keep up, or a game of arse, which is where you kick the ball up. If you don't keep the ball up playing football in the warm up, then people get to have a shot at your bum. And he was terrible. He's a terrible footballer. So you think, well, how's this? You don't add up. And then I think it slowly came out in the press that he'd made up his own website. He never actually played against the players he said he had. That he played against Jarrod and hit him for 5 6 and over. And it came out that Jarrod was in a different country at the time this game was supposed to have taken place. So, it beggars belief, but you've got to admire him. Yeah,
well, I mean, I do admire him. I think he's amazing. But for you, like, you work so hard, does it almost feel like, this guy cheat?
Yeah, absolutely. I was living, this last year when he made his debut at Lords, actually, in the one day against Middlesex, live on TV, day-night game, a massive match. And it was between Adrian Shankar and my housemate at the time, Neil Pinner, who'd been playing well in the second team, looked to get a chance. Real good, been for Worcester through the academy and had a summer contract the year before. So he's really looking forward to playing. And then Adrian gets signed, Adrian gets put in the team. And obviously Neil's a little bit upset. And then for that to come out then and to realise that would have been Neil's debut, and it was Adrian's debut. And you think, what he's done there is not quite right. That doesn't really sit well with any of us at Worcester.
Yeah, I mean, I would just think, for someone like yourself who had to work so hard and do everything, and then to just feel like you said, Frank Abagnale. Yeah, that was his name.
Frank Abagnale, yeah, that was his nickname as well after we left.
I saw you did a tweet not that long ago, basically saying, does anyone know what Shankar's up to at the moment?
I think he's working on the large hadron collider, isn't he, at CERN now?
I would have assumed. Or
he's splitting the atom.
Is he not helping the Russians get to Mars or something?
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Almost certainly.
I want to talk about, so you finally make it, and you've played 2 less first-class games than your brother managed. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah. I'm not far off now. I've played more one-days and 2020s, but...
Than your whole family combined?
Well, there wasn't much to beat with Dad, because he never played 2020s, but I think Dad played 3 or 4 first-class games.
And a couple of this day, I think, as well. Right, yeah. So you're basically now, right at the moment, and we say this, you haven't played much first-class cricket this year, so I think it's safe to say you're now a limited over specialist?
No, not at all.
Come on.
I wouldn't.
You don't have that tag?
I wouldn't want to be put in that bracket. I want to be someone who can play in all forms of the game. I can obviously see, not being express pace, I'm never going to be sort of a guy like Richard to take 70 wickets in a season for you. Certainly not at the moment at this point in my career. But I do think I'm a dependable full-day bowler. But yeah, obviously at the moment, I suppose you can give me that tag for 20 overs. I'll take it.
If we went through your record though,
yeah.
I mean, right at the moment, we don't have to say, we're saying when we do this in 8 years' time, and you've taken the most wickets ever in a first class career. I don't know why you do that in 8 years. That might change. But right at the moment, your major successes have come from limited overs cricket.
That's right. I mean, I don't mind saying my stats. You live or die by your stats in cricket, and it's fair enough. I think my bowling average is the wrong side of 35 at the moment. My one-day average is a lot better, and my 2020 average is a lot better again. So yeah, by those stats, I would definitely be seen as a limited overs bowler. So
you're not aiming yourself at that though in any way.
No, I want to be seen as someone in county cricket who can play all forms of the game.
What do you? I talked to some people about you, like I said, and some said that there would be club cricketers that you played against, and I don't know if this has ever got back to you. Who would be like, "How the hell is Shantry playing and I'm not?" Yeah. Does that ever get back to you?
No one said that to my face. Quite a few people.
I'm willing to say it now. I never played in your league.
No, it's understandable. I can completely understand people saying that, and it's their own. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I can't control what they say.
Is that almost a compliment?
No.
Let me put it this way: like they're basically saying he's so useless, and yet how did he make it? Well, clearly you made it because you wouldn't give up. You played overseas. You played 400 days of cricket a week, from what you told me before. So it's almost, I know it's not a compliment at that level, but...
I'm going to be level with that accusation for the rest of my career, that I've got no pace, and there'll be people bowling a lot quicker than me who play club cricket, and they'll think, well, if I bowl quicker than him, surely I'm better than him. From my point of view, I just say that I have got good accuracy, I can swing the ball a long way, and my record in one-day cricket can speak for itself. I wouldn't like to say I'm a better bowler than this person because... I'd like to say it by bowling do the talking, but I completely understand that accusation. And perhaps those people, if they were Australian, I completely understand it, because in Australia, where the ball doesn't swing so much, you rely a lot more on pace.
Did you struggle over there?
I did struggle when I went to Campbelltown in Sydney.
Decent club.
Yeah, it's a lovely club.
No, I mean
Sydney Grade Cricket is very cricket. Yeah, I think my wickets were probably around sort of 30, maybe a little bit higher, which for a professional overseas is not very good. And I completely took that on board, and I went back in England and had an okay season last year. In the winter just gone, I went to New Zealand, a little bit more steamer-friendly conditions, and I finished as the leading wicket taker in the whole competition. So when the conditions were in my favour, and I'm not a bad bowler.
When you see a player, and I won't name any names, but a player who doesn't get fit, a player who doesn't train hard enough, who doesn't work on their game, but is far more talented than you, how do you feel about seeing someone like that, like not use their gifts?
No, not at all. If anything, I'm envious of that person because they've got more talent than me, and if anything, they've got more of a right to be there than me, because county cricket, professional sport, is about showcasing the best players that are there. I've sort of hitched a ride off the back of their talent, if you like, because the people who come to watch they don't pay to see me. They pay to see the brilliant batsmen and the fast bowlers. I'm just somebody who sort of gets to burgles a living a little bit. I
would think that 20% of the people who pay to see Richo and your action.
Well, you kind of say that, but I'd pay to. I wouldn't pay to see myself. I'd pay to see the people who can smash the ball miles out the ground and who can bowl as fast as people who can do things that you can't. That's what professional sport's about. But there is room, I think, for people like me who perhaps aren't as talented but can work hard and make it that way. Someone else
told me that there are random Twitter people, 15-year-old kids from Nottingham.
Oh, okay.
That have been abusing you on Twitter. Can you enlighten me about this?
We actually played a game against Middlesex at Lords, the Shankar game. Shankar Gate.
The Shankar game, I love it.
Where Middlesex beat us as a 40-over game. I think they beat us with about 8 or 9 overs to go. I hadn't bowled particularly well that day. And we were on the bus home, we were waiting to leave Lords, and there was, I think, Matt Pardo, one of the other players, was doing a drugs test, and he couldn't go for a wee for some reason. He took 45 minutes to wee, so the boys are getting restless on the back of the bus. Richard Jones, I think it was, opened up Twitter, looked down the list of comments for the Middlesex game, and number one was Jack Shantry, how is he a first-class cricketer? Jack Shantry, I bowl like a spaz for free, but you get paid to do it. Comments of this nature. And they were fun. In fairness, the people on Twitter, they had a good night because it was funny. and you can take a joke. I could take a joke before the 15th one.
Yeah.
After that, I started to get a bit annoyed.
Have you confronted them on Twitter?
No, what can you do? What can you say?
No, I mean, that's what I was wondering. I mean, what do you do? Do you just...
Oh, actually, yeah, one of the 15-year-olds, he was from Nottingham, and we played Nottingham in a 4-day game a couple of weeks ago, and I was 12th man, so I invited him to a net indoors, really? But he didn't accept.
Why not?
Probably because he's 15 and probably isn't that good at cricket, but he just thought he'd allow him out. One of those keyboard warriors who you see a lot on the internet.
I mean, does it mean... It means almost nothing, though, if someone who doesn't know you says that. But, this is where I see it, and you may not see it this way.
Yeah.
But yet again, this is more evidence of you sort of making it despite everything. And, if these people really think that, and you've still made it, that's sort of a victory to... It's a victory for the little guy.
It is a victory for the little guy. The people... I know this sounds like... I hate myself for saying it, sounds like a cliche, but the people I have to impress are people like Steve Rose, the Worcestershire first team coach, the captain Darryl Mitchell, and the Worcestershire fans. If they're happy with me, then that's all I can do. They're the people who pay my wages, so I can't control what 15-year-olds in Nottingham think about me, and they've probably got a point anyway. I
think that's a headline. That one. I've been told about this story, and tell me if it's wrong, but it's. I've written down the notes here. You once had an all-night barn dance with Jet from Gladiator?
No, I can categorically deny that. I was at the end of that rumour now. That was George DeBell.
That's directly who gave me this line.
He wrote that line as well. It's a quote from Alan Partridge. He knows that because my brother and myself are both fans of Alan Partridge, Ricky Gervais, this kind of comedy. I think the all-night barn dance was one of Alan Partridge's ideas. Terrible idea. Hosted by Jet from Gladiators. Is that right? I think that's what George DeBell wrote. So it's completely not true. In fact, I'd like to pull George DeBell up and say, how is he a professional writer and putting that kind of stuff in the Birmingham Evening Standard? I think it's ridiculous. He claimed that my brother... This was on Crick Info, I think. He claimed that my brother had a mental breakdown and drove to Dundee in his bare feet. Which is also directly from Twitter. Directly from Alan Partridge, sorry.
He gave me that one as well. I didn't write that down because I was like, why am I going to ask him about his brother's breakdown?
Driving to Dundee in his bare feet, yeah. That was... And people... I played a club game for Campbelltown a couple of years ago, and someone said, did your brother once have a nervous breakdown? So it gets round. I don't know how he's employable, this guy. He's ridiculous. He's
not employable, that's why he works at Crick Info. There is another one I've got, which isn't from George. Is it true that Samsonite once tried to sponsor you? Can you... I mean, I don't even know how to ask this question because it was written so weirdly when someone said it to me.
Okay.
Tell me the story. You made runs in early 2010. You were making runs, no?
Wouldn't have thought so. Not for Worcester.
Wickets? Something?
Possibly.
And then something happened with Samsonite and David Leatherdale. Is that right?
This is, again, a fabrication. This is the kind of thing I have to come up with day in, day out. This is, I think I know exactly who this is. And that person is bang wrong. What it was, Samsonite are the well-known baggage manufacturers.
Yeah. They're not sponsoring you now?
No.
You're not making any money from mentioning them?
No, I'm not. I should be. What happened was, if you scored 2 ducks, obviously you've bagged a pair. And I scored 4 ducks in a row. But also, while I was doing this, Phil Jakes also scored 4 ducks in a row. So me and Jake see similar batsmen.
I would have thought so, yeah.
Very similar.
I mean, he bats in a similar style to the way you bowl.
No, that's unfair.
It is a bit unfair.
No, he's a hell of a player. I think he's doing well for Yorkshire as well so far. So yeah.
You don't have to suck up. He's not watching this. So, explain the whole Samsonite thing. Did that actually happen?
No, again, no. I think it's a poor joke from a very poor individual who said because Samsonite make baggage, I'd bagged them so often that Samsonite should sponsor me. Which is as far as it goes.
See, I thought it was far better than that. I thought someone rang up the club and claimed to be Samsonite and tried to sponsor you.
That would be funny. I don't think that happened. Not to my knowledge. I didn't get asked anyway.
Are there any stories about you that are funny that actually happened? Because now I'm disappointed. I've got all these notes and it's like none of these are true.
Well, early on in my career, I played a game for Worcester against Surrey at Whitgift School. And the week started badly because I actually left my helmet and gloves back at Worcester.
Is this a common thing for you? Because
I'm a forgetful man. I forget a lot of stuff.
Messy as well?
Yeah. I'm not the tidiest of people. I forgot my helmet and gloves, so the boys absolutely got stuck into me for that. I borrowed Richard Jones's phone, who, by the way, is a despicable human being. Never do anything with Richard Jones. He's the person in the dressing room you do not want to sit next to. He will stuff you at every opportunity. I borrowed his phone, went on Facebook, Forgot to log out, which was a cardinal sin.
Ooh.
And what Richard Jones did over the next 2 days, I didn't find out until 2 days later. Bearing in mind, we're playing against Surrey. He added Mark Ramprakash, Andre Nell, all the Surrey players, Hamilton Brown as friends. He changed my Facebook status to Jack Shantry, bowled really well today and almost got Mark Ramprakash out. Yay. He went even further. He went to an employee of Worcestershire, I think it was the catering manager or someone, a lady who'd been on holiday recently, had a photo taken with her in the foreground in a bikini and a background shot of the beach or something. He wrote "lovely view" under my name. Well, I had a girlfriend at the time, so she did that really well, as you can imagine. And yeah, other things that day, the following day, and I think a few of the Surrey boys got stuck into me for that as well.
And then you had an all-night bar dance with Jack.
Then I went to Exeter for an all-night bar dance with Jack.